Like I told you before, my father said something to me that stuck with me. He said, "La presencia que cuenta." It's your presence that counts. And I realized it was the same thing with Ralph. My depression made it difficult for me to go see him sometimes because I didn't want to go, but it actually helped me in a sense. It was kind of helping in a sense because I was depressed. I didn't want to get out of my house. I didn't want to get out of bed. And Ralph didn't want to get out of bed either. So I would go, I'd get out of my bed and get him out of his bed, you know what I'm saying? And we was just chilling and stuff, And then I left there feeling better. I'm glad I got out of my house and stuff. It was a bonding relationship in that sense where we had basic similarities. Because I was like, why did Andrew pair me up with Ralph? Why did I get this guy? Why did I get the tough guy? You know what I'm saying? Why did I get somebody simple? But in the end, during actually, I appreciated it. It actually formed a trust between us. We were able to trust each other and say, hey man, we're both going through the same stuff. I feel you, what I'm saying? We don't have to talk much. We don't need to talk much to know that we're here for each other, and there's nothing false. Because one thing we both hated is fakeness. You know what I'm saying? Fake conversations, fake pleasantries and stuff like that. I don't like them, and neither did Ralph. One of the main things I tried to do was to get him to socialize with others because he wouldn't socialize with anybody there, and he had a bad attitude with everybody there, Because at first he was like grouchy, he didn't want to talk to nobody. I don't like this dude, man. I don't like this guy, man. He didn't like anybody. He didn't like anybody in there. He didn't like anybody, any patient. He didn't like any nurse in that place. He didn't like nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because the relationship is important in life. And that's what I try to do, to help develop a relationship in there. I think if my job there was to do that, not only for companionship for him, but for him to develop relationships on himself. So when I'm not there, he's able to socialize, you know what I'm saying? And get out of the funk for a little bit. When you brought the dominoes in, that just changed the whole dynamic of our relationship. He was just ready to get up and go play dominoes. And that initiated socialization because now everybody else wanted to play dominoes. So now Ralph, who doesn't talk to anybody, now he's talking to people playing dominoes. He's not the greatest player, but he started getting better. Like eventually I was like, oh snap, this guy is beating me, dude. You know what I'm saying? Ralph, number one priority, he wanted to get out of Kohler. He didn't really have a voice. His legal guardian, he was like, yeah, she would tell him every week, I'm going to go see you. And he'll tell me every week she's going to come visit me. And she never did. It was tough sometimes. Sometimes I just wanted to take him outside, not even outside of the facility. They had like an outside in the middle where it's inside the facility, but it's outside. And they wouldn't even let me bring him out there. Ralph had a bad name for himself over there. He was a troublemaker and supposedly, and I don't know what he did in there to get him in trouble, but I saw him, he was like a gentle giant to me, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, oh, be careful, he's mad today. And he was a sweetheart to me. I never see him mad. So he wanted to get out of there, so I tried to play an advocate. Okay, let's talk to your social worker, let's see what we could do. Maybe we could get you in a halfway house or whatever. So he saw that I took the initiative to get him out of there, and I think that he was like, okay, this dude is legit. I was actually advocating more for him than his legal guardian was. Because I was already playing a part in trying to get him in a halfway house or trying to go through the system, the bureaucracy, because the bureaucracy was incredible. He was a human being. He had needs like everybody else. He wanted companionship, he wanted a relationship. He ate like we all did, you know what I'm saying? And all he wanted to do was be free. You know what I'm saying? That's all he wanted in life, to be free. And if he's a little cranky at times, well, I think he should be, you know what I'm saying? I would be too if he got me locked up and I want to be free. All he wanted to do was be free. All he wanted was visits. All he wanted was companionship. That's all. That's how Ralph wanted. He wanted companionship and he wanted to be free. Is that too much to ask for? Keep hope alive. That sounds corny. You know what I'm saying? But hope does bring life into somebody. So I did whatever I could do, whatever little it was that I could do, that could give them a sense of hope. It's always good to have a little hope in you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to have a little hope because that brings life, And you can never lose hope. You can lose everything else in life, but you can't lose hope. do for one, be with one person to person. It's all about giving companionship to somebody else. Being a friend to somebody who doesn't have any friends. Being friends to people who are in a system that doesn't allow them to have friends, that doesn't allow them to have the freedom to go out and live. You know what I'm saying? When you develop relationships, you're showing love. Like you can have a food pantry, and I'm not knocking it. You can have a food pantry, but you'll see them for one day, they pick up food, and then you won't see them again. You know what I'm saying? But over here, you're actually sitting down one-on-one, and you're developing a relationship. That's deep. It's not generic. You know what I'm saying? It's real, it's authentic. You know? And again, it wasn't like I'm gonna change the world, but what you do to the least one of these, you're doing to me. That's why I like Do For One, because it was genuine, and you're making a change in somebody's life, and you're making an impact in such a deep way that you don't even know. And all you're doing is sitting down with somebody. All you're doing is spending time and sitting down with somebody. It's not that complicated, you know what I'm saying?
People come from other countries and they do need assistance. And a lot of people overlook that. And that's when we started to talk about Kwame. So, you know, I thank God. And it was because of God that led me and put me in this spot.
I've gone through a lot, but by the grace of God, I feel free. I was going through problems, you know, so she helped me to apply for food listing. She did that just in a short time. She did it for me. Then she gave me a computer. You can imagine.
Now we're talking about the immigration paperwork, so he could start working. You know, that I would walk into the office with him, and Kwame knows I'm there for him. Yeah, I let Kwame know when I look for things. I also let him know where I look for it so that he can do it on his own if he chooses
I don't know how to explain the help that she's been helping. And God bless her.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everything Jesus does is called to serve. And this, Do For One, it's a great place to start because, like I said, there's no pressure. You know, you're going to sit with somebody who's marginalized, who people probably don't even want to hang out with. And you go hang out with that person, that you're making a difference in that person's life. You know what I'm saying? And you won't even notice it. You won't even know what you're doing. You won't even know what sitting down is, how much that means to one person. You won't even know what that means to somebody.